who was a man that I have great respect for. He pulled me into this meeting. I was now sitting in a room full of directors and director generals within the government, and we were talking about one of the pertinent issues of our projects on the Hill. At the time, I sat there and I listened to what everybody was saying, and I thought it was a great meeting. There was a lot of discussion that had happened. There was a lot of points back and forth, a lot of positives, a lot of decisions made. We left that meeting, and my boss, Dave, he pulls me aside and he actually took me into an empty meeting room. And he looked at me dead square in the eyes and he said, Amy, if you ever do that to me again, we will be having bigger words than what we're having right now. For somebody that I respected so incredibly much, I had no idea what he was talking about. All I knew was I had sat there and I had listened. But I realized that he blatantly told me, he said, I brought you into that meeting because you have thoughts, you have knowledge, and you have ideas to share. But I sat there silently throughout that whole meeting. And that's when I realized that I needed to find a way to have the confidence and to speak my own mind and to speak my ideas and share my thoughts, my knowledge, and my input to these major projects going on, because I had information to share that would help that decision making. That was 7 years ago. And here I am today. Many people wish that I've not found my voice as well as I have, but it's been great fun. And that has allowed me the ability to step up to things that I never thought I would do. I led a conference team of 20 people. We held an international bilingual conference for 350 constituents. I've since really risen up in Toastmasters and really embraced the leadership and the communication opportunities that have been provided to me. At work, I have since had 2 promotions and have moved around in departments, constantly moving upwards, enhancing my own careers and my own skills. Now, that's a very self-centered story about myself, and I recognize what you're saying. Well, that's lovely, Amy, but how can it help us? As Tony said, we'll dive into a little bit of all of that. Every Toastmasters meeting has 3 core elements, and those 3 core elements are the foundation of what will help you launch everything that you've ever wanted in your own personal and professional objectives. Those 3 elements are, first, prepared speeches. This is the opportunity for us to actually write out a cohesive thought, a point, a persuasive idea that we want to bring everybody on board to, or share a funny story, or connect with an audience. Those prepared speeches allow us to put time, thought, and energy and really find our words, our style, and our voices. The second element of every Toastmasters speech is the evaluations. And evaluations are the cornerstone of this whole program. What they provide us are peer evaluations. When we deliver a message, did we actually deliver the message we thought we were delivering? Did our audience hear what we believed we were saying, or did they hear something else? And those evaluations provide us feedback in a positive and constructive manner to ensure that we are motivated to come back and try again over and over, continuously improving. We, in fact, are the experts in every Toastmasters meeting because we know what we have heard, what we have saw, and what we have felt when somebody has delivered a prepared speech. We are the experts to give that great evaluation to them. And finally, in every Toastmasters meeting, there is what we call table topics. Now, table topics might not be a word that means too much to you right now, but what will mean a lot to you is impromptu speaking. And this is where we give you a question, and in 30 seconds, you will have the chance to formulate a thought and provide an answer. The goal of that is to provide a cohesive answer from beginning to end, preferably with a thought that flows throughout an opening body and conclusion. Now, why we practice this, I'll talk about that a little bit more. So I'm going to leave that on a little bit of a cliffhanger. But we are very excited. As James mentioned earlier, we have Craig, an award-winning speech giver here in District 61, which is the local region of Ottawa, Quebec, and Northern New York. And online, I should also add, that has been a recent change, but we also have online clubs as well. However, Craig is going to deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech today. And he is delivering this speech. But what I need you guys to do to help us evaluate is I need your assistance to make this happen. So when you hear Craig speak, as he is speaking, I want you to take the time and think, what did Craig do that you really liked in that speech? What did he use his voice? Did he use body gestures? Did he use great humor throughout? What did he do that made this speech effective to you? And we want to make sure that we bring up some positive points, but at the same time, I also want you to think, what could Craig do differently? That message might hit home to you better or stronger. So we want to continue that. I'm going to let you just think about that while Craig is speaking, because I'm going to come back and we're going to do this together, and I'm going to call on people from the audience. So again, I just want you to think of the moments. What did you think Craig did really, really well? And what do you feel Craig could do that would make that speech hit home to you personally? I'll take a second and we're going to introduce Craig Sr. Craig Sr. joined Toastmasters because it seemed like the good thing to do at that time, 28 years ago. His improvement has been incredible, but he enjoys working in the areas of quality management, process improvement, root cause analysis, lean configuration and change management, project and risk management, project and application portfolio management, IT service management, barcode technology, warehouse management, facilities engineering, website and social media. And now he works in technical writing when he's not writing speeches. He also enjoys documentaries and, like all of us here, he enjoys reading textbooks. In other words, he loves exploring factual information. In his talk, he explores that love with a matter of fact, Craig Sr.
Thank you very much, Amy. With the COVID-19 pandemic, we hear about people losing a loved one. Have you ever lost someone and you didn't realize how much you took them for granted until they were gone? I lost such a friend. That friend was facts. I didn't realize it, but I took facts for granted. That the earth is spherical, not flat, that people actually landed on the moon. And the letter Q is the only letter not among the names of the 50 United States. Well, now it seems flat earthers are getting organized. They have a conference, just like our Toastmasters conferences. Moon conspiracy theorists are gaining traction on YouTube. And the letter Q found a place in politics through QAnon, a far out conspiracy group spreading disinformation. Now, disinformation is information known by its creator to be false. They deliberately create it to make money on advertising revenues. You click on the clickbait. Now, clickbait is anything designed to bait you to click. Like a salmon after a fly, you're swimming through the rushing waters of the internet. You see something, clickbait, you leap out of the waters. Ha ha! Confirmation bias, a story confirming what I already believe, therefore it's truth. And then you share it. And that sharing is misinformation. Disinformation is deliberate. Misinformation is a mistake. They're both false. And with the pandemic and the life and death decisions, you would think people would hunger for facts. But on Facebook, you don't need facts. You also don't need masks. Masks will kill you. You don't need vaccines. Vaccines will kill you. Bill Gates, nanochips, 5G, man. It's all you need. All you need is a strong immune system. That's all. And all the government wants to do is to take away our freedom. Is that a fact? So the mayor, the premier, and the prime minister conspired with thousands of medical professionals, and all they want to do is to take away our freedom. Or is it more likely there's a pandemic and they're doing their best to balance all the interests, keeping us as safe as they can? They're being harm and benefit no matter what they do, erring on the side of not overloading our healthcare system while distributing vaccines and responding to the ever-evolving situation, mindful of our vote in the next election. What is more likely? When I see some false story, I count to 10, sometimes 20. And if I'm feeling energetic, I'll ask for the evidence that supports the opinion to which they are apparently entitled. And John F. Kennedy said it best: too often we enjoy the comfort of opinion without the discomfort of thought. And their answer is always the same: do your research. I assume the same place they did, at the library of peer-reviewed scholarly articles on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. The thing about real research is scientists freely share their information because they want you to test and repeat their findings or prove them wrong, because that gets them to better information faster. So I go away and I look for some fact-based information. It takes a minute, maybe two. I come back. I say, here's my evidence. Their answer is always the same: or they give me a body of evidence that's just a collection of false information or opinions. And many falsehoods don't make a truth. The next day, they're back at it again, posting the same junk. So I asked my 25-year-old son, Brandon, what he thinks of all this stuff. He said, yeah, I read the posts, I read the comments, but I don't reply. It's just mayhem. And right next to their crazy comment is their name, proudly displayed for all the world to see. That's my boy. So amid that mayhem, I've come to realize that my fact-checking is a waste of time. My wanting to be more helpful isn't helping and isn't wanted in a world without integrity. Stephen L. Carter, in his book, Integrity, suggests that discernment, sincere discernment between right from wrong, facts from falsehood, weighing the benefits and the harm, is the hard work of striving for integrity. In Toastmasters, our first core value is integrity. So this journey to make facts rise, to resurrect facts as our living friends, is a personal journey, one for each of us to take or to ignore. If we are to be free, critical thinkers who aren't going to be told what to think, then we ought not to be told what to think by purveyors of disinformation and clickbait. So can we separate our feelings from facts? Can we find freedom through fact-checking? Can we find a friend in facts? Amy.
Thank you very much, Craig. Just a small side note, if you're wondering about this is American Sign Language for applause. If you've ever had multiple people applaud on a computer, my poor eardrums get blown out. So we do this virtually. In person, we would give a roaring round of applause for Craig at this time. I had you guys think about what you really liked when Craig spoke. I also had you think about what you thought maybe Craig could improve on. So I'm going to just go right to you guys to help me form this evaluation. And I'm going to ask somebody in the audience,